For those who don't know, Brookhaven updates every week. Things are removed from the game, and new things are also added with each update. But today, I want to check with you everything that has been removed from Brookhaven between updates, things you didn't know were removed, and things you didn't know existed in Brookhaven. So for that, I called my friend, who is up on the mountain. You can see that he's right here, but suddenly, he got a tractor. I just don't understand why he did that, but he said in the chat, "I'm going to destroy your car." And guys, I don't understand what he's going to do, but it looks like he's coming here to drive the tractor. And now, guys, he's trying to knock over my car, which actually fell, but my car is still fine, and it didn't break. Guys, I'm coming here to drive my car, but I'm going to open this part here to place a chair right here. I said in the chat, sit here. Guys, he's going to have to sit in this chair, and I'm going to drive the truck. Guys, this truck is really weird because he's back there, but now I'm going to fly off like this, and I'm sure this is really weird. He said in the chat, how are you going to see what was removed from Brookhaven? Look, basically I have several saved versions of Brookhaven. I have the very first version of all, and you can see that this was very different. This is the very first version of Brookhaven, which I'm sure you've never seen before, especially because it was very different. But besides this version, I also have another version of Brookhaven, and you can see that this version is a bit more updated, but it's still very old. There's this old restaurant and a lot of different things. I also have this version of the game, which you can see is a more updated version, but not by much. And that's what I'm going to do. Check everything that was removed from Brookhaven, and there really is a lot that was removed. He said in the chat, okay, I get it, now follow me. And guys, it looks like he's heading up ahead, but I'm going to grab my car and follow him because I don't want to go on foot, except my car can't climb up here. Guys, it's impossible to climb this mountain with this truck. I'm trying, but I couldn't, so I'll have to go on foot. I'm getting up here, but guys, he stopped exactly here. What do you want to see? Tell me! He said in the chat, I want to see the old version of Brookhaven's mountaintop. Guys, Brookhaven's mountaintop now looks like this. We have this space back here, and for those who don't know, there are several secrets here. I can grab a house, hide in this hiding spot, and also come to this secret cave. Then I need to turn exactly here, and we have a secret spot that I'm sure you've never seen before. But in the old version of Brookhaven, you can see that this was very different. This area used to be closed, and this mountain looked a lot like a volcano. In fact, it was almost identical to a volcano. Also, one thing this version of Brookhaven didn't have was trees. There are no trees here on the mountain, and in the game, there are a few trees, but fewer than there are now. After that, the game was updated, and they added snow here and modified the mountain a bit, but it still looked very old. After a while, the creator of Brookhaven changed this and added new trees, which made it much better, but this area was still closed. In the latest version of Brookhaven, you can see that now there's a giant hole here, which is really interesting. He said in the chat, wow, I didn't know that. But guys, he grabbed a skateboard, and he's going down here. Guys, I don't know where he's going, but I'll follow him because I want to see what he's going to do. Guys, he's at this part of the mountain, and he wants to go inside the secret cave. He gave me this secret item, which I grabbed too, and now he's coming inside. But guys, for those who don't know, there's a lot of weird stuff right here. We have a secret cave, and my friend is coming here to see what's inside. But guys, this is a completely secret place, and it's really strange because there's nothing inside. I don't know if there's supposed to be something here. He said in the chat, wow, this is really weird. It really is. But guys, I'm going to grab a car on the right. I want to see if I can take cars, and I actually can, which is really weird, especially because I'm on a mountain, and yet I can still get cars. So I grabbed this motorcycle, and I'm leaving here on the bike. Guys, I don't know if I'll be able to get out of here on the motorcycle, but I think I can go right here and exit through the cave. Perfect! I made it! He said in the chat, wait, what changed here? Guys, it looks like he wants to check out the campsite and see what's changed there. But for those who don't know, a lot has changed. First, in the oldest version of Brookhaven, there wasn't a campsite. Back then, there was nothing here. You can see that there was absolutely nothing. Not even waterfalls existed here. This version of Brookhaven was very basic. Even this mountain was very weird because it was completely ugly. It was as if the creator of Brookhaven didn't know how to make Roblox games and was just starting to learn. You can see that this part of the mountain was also very different because it had a lot of light here and even had a secret passage that let you see and access the inside of the mountain. So a lot has really changed. And this campsite was only added much later. But guys, now I'm leaving here. I grabbed this boat and I'm heading up ahead. Guys, this boat is very weird because it's a secret car in Brookhaven that you've probably never seen before. And for those who don't know, the boats on the right weren't the first boats in Brookhaven because this boat has been here for a very long time. But now, guys, I'm heading forward. I'm going to grab my favorite car, which is exactly this one. And now I want to check out other places that have been modified here in Brookhaven. But my friend left from here, and guys, it looks like he wants to see this spot in Brookhaven. For those who don't know, today it's exactly like this, a really cool campsite where you can do a lot of things. You can come here, eat food, and other activities. But in the oldest version of Brookhaven, it was exactly like this. There was literally nothing. There were these old Brookhaven helicopters, but this area used to be completely empty. It even had a very weird bridge that crossed here, and that bridge was also removed from Brookhaven. Then the game was updated, and some things changed, but nothing here was modified. The only difference was that the bridge was changed and eventually removed, which made it much better. After some time, they added this campsite, and you can see that it looked exactly like this. It has remained this way up to today without any modifications for more than 3 years. My friend came back here, and now I want to see another place that has has changed. But guys, I noticed that back here, we have this bridge, which I didn't even know was in the game. I can bring the car here, all the way up ahead. Guys, this is something I didn't know. But one thing I want to see in the game is the evolution of Brookhaven's hospital because, for those who don't know, it has changed a lot, with many modifications, and I want to check everything that has changed. He said in the chat, wow, this is really interesting because it had many versions. That's true, it had many versions, and for those who don't know, Brookhaven was released in 2020, but the first version of this hospital dates back to 2017. However, it wasn't in the original Brookhaven but in another Roblox game made by the creator of Brookhaven. For those who don't know, this game is the very first version of Brookhaven. Here we have the hospital, and you can see it's just like the one in Brookhaven. It's really very similar to Brookhaven's because it's the same creator, and everything in it is quite alike. So this is the very first hospital in Brookhaven, which later became the classic Brookhaven Hospital. Back then, there were no rooms, and this part looked exactly like this, very different. Later, it was modified and became like this. It didn't change much, but became a little more modern, with some things removed. Then it was updated again, becoming much more modern. We got this new room, and it looked very nice. After a long time, it was modified again and ended up like this, very modern, with everything redone to make it better. He said in the chat, I don't like the roof. Honestly, the hospital roof is really ugly. For those who don't know, I redid this part here. I left it exactly like this. You can see that it's the new Brookhaven Hospital, but it has a regular roof, which looks so much better. I prefer the roof this way compared to the new version in the game. But now I'm going to drive my car because I want to check out more things that have changed, and this time it will be the cemetery. For those who don't know, the cemetery looks like this. There are several graves here, some jokes, and also a few that are kind of weird because you can go inside them. There's even one that is open. Guys, it's really strange, but I want to see how this looked in the past. In the first version of Brookhaven, there was no cemetery here. There was just this fence, but there was one grave right here, and it was hidden. It was really weird. Later, it looked like this. You can see that it's prettier, but it's still very simple, and this version was a little different. Back then, it was like this, and today it looks like this, but you can tell it's starting to look better. Afterward, it was updated again and ended up looking like this, much prettier. But you can see that this cemetery hasn't changed much. In fact, it's still the same as always. But now, guys, I want to check out a completely random place. I said in the chat, now a random location. He said in the chat, let's go to that red house. Guys, we have this red house, and I want to see if it has changed, because this house in Brookhaven has always been like this, with no modifications at all. Actually, this is the only spot in Brookhaven that has never changed. It has always been the same. I want to see if that's true. So for that, I'm going to enter the very first version of Brookhaven, which is exactly this one. You can see that the mountain was really strange. It was basically crooked, and this house was very different. First of all, it had lights, and in the current game, it still has lights, but they're much weaker now, while before they were much better. We also had a secret here, and it really hasn't changed much. There was a secret block here, and that's pretty much it. Later, it was modified. The floor changed, and the lights were also updated. The fences were removed, but not much else changed. The mountain was improved, and now in Brookhaven, we have these fences and also this structure here. The floor changed again, but this house hasn't changed much. It's always been like this. I don't think it's going to be updated anytime soon, but I want to see other modifications in the game. So now I'm looking at a completely random place to go, and we have this abandoned house. He said in the chat, wait, did something change here? I'm not sure, but I think maybe it did. For those who don't know, this house has a lot of secrets. Right here, we have a secret code that you can activate in the game. Also, if I go up here, I have to step on this part, which will activate a secret in the house. The house starts to catch fire, and the game credits appear, showing all the people who have worked on Brookhaven. It's really interesting, but you can see that in the older version of Brookhaven, there were several fences around the house, and the house itself was just a normal house. It wasn't destroyed. In fact, it was quite nice. And here, you can notice that there was no secret code. It was just a regular house, nothing special. Then, it was modified. The trees were removed, and the house was completely destroyed. You can see that there were no secret codes, but the house looked really weird. Then, it was modified again and ended up looking like this, with trees and completely destroyed. He said in the chat, this really was different. In fact, it was much prettier. I agree. This house used to be very beautiful, but it's been completely destroyed. And this here, for those who don't know, is the first version of Brookhaven, and you can see that everything was very different here. But now, I have these admin commands, and I'm going to write this secret command. My friend became huge. You can see he's gigantic, and now he's checking out what else is in the game, because there's a lot of different things here. You can see that this part was really strange. Brookhaven used to be totally different. Meanwhile, my friend is going over there to see what else is in the game. Now, I see a lot of people entering, including a bird, and everything here was very different. Many shops didn't exist. There was nothing here, because they were exactly here. The bank was also very different. A lot has changed. But guys, my friend is still coming over here to see everything that changed in the game. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going to write this secret command, and everyone will start flying. Literally, everyone started flying and disappeared from the game. But now, everyone is coming here to see what has changed in the game. But guys, I'm going to make everyone fly here in the game. You can see everyone disappeared, but now we're coming to the skate park, because you can see a lot has changed. Again, I'm going to make everyone fly, and literally, everyone disappeared. This is so cool, and now everyone is seeing everything that changed in the old version of Brookhaven because there are a lot of things here that aren't in the game anymore. And now, everyone looks like me. You can see that everyone has my avatar, and this is really strange. And guys, if you want to add me on Roblox, just click the member button and I'll add you on Roblox.